Yes, Mr. Erick, karibu and honorable members, before us is Mr. Erick Miyienda, nominee to the Department of Sports, Culture and Arts, who was able to appear before us at this time. I now authorize the clerk to administer the oath. The nominee.
I, Erick Miyienda, do solemnly swear that the information I shall give to the Committee on Appointments shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. At this time, honorable members, let me invite the nominee to introduce himself and make a brief statement about himself, around 5 minutes. This is your time, Mr. Erick.
Thank you for creating time. My name is Erick Miyienda. I was born in 1988. I'm now aged at 3 years old. I went to Mochengo Primary School from 1994 to 2002, then proceeded to Mubamba Secondary School in 2003 to 2007, after which I scored a fifth lane and proceeded to Kenyatta University, where I studied BA Arts in English and Literature from 2010 to 2014. After that, I taught briefly at Mubamba Secondary School before I was posted by TSC to Matibo Girls Secondary School, where I was teaching up to the time I was given this appointment. I'm married, I have one kid, and expecting another one next month. Thank you.
And we wish you the best for that. Honorable members, requested the nominee to submit his original certificates for verification by the honorable members of this committee. Honorable members, having checked the nominees' original documents and they get satisfied that they are okay, I think as you continue checking, I can open the floor for discussion and interacting with the nominee, and I will start with myself. Mr. Erick, can you tell this committee your financial net worth, although you have told your years, worry you don't, and if so, explain your current and anticipated sources of income.
As I indicated in the form that you were given, I value myself at 8 million Kenya shillings. That is my net worth.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir, thank you. And then, Erick, what is the composition?
The composition,
Yes.
I have built a good house in my home worth around 4 million. I also have an undeveloped land, 1.5 million. I have shares in Mwalimu Sacco. I also do some small business, and I do farming. I have around 30 goats and a number of cows. When I valued that, I realized it can be 8 million or thereabouts.
Thank you. Honorable members, the floor is now open. Honorable.
Yes. And you have left your permanent job as a teacher to come to the C.E.C.M for me 5 years. And you are very young. What motivated you to come to this position? Then you are very young. You are growing as a youth. Number two, what strategy you have in place to improve sporting activities in Kisii County, particularly for soccer? We used to have the Savannas yesterday. We used to have our secondary schools do very well in sports. We don't hear them, like we used to have Sameta and the like. They do well in sports. And athletics, and many other sporting activities you have in this country. Those two.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Gugu, for the 2 questions. I'll begin with the first one. You have asked about the Honorable Gugu. You've asked 2 questions, one on AIDS, and that I'm now exiting my permanent job to take up the C.E.C. that will take 5 years. I want to say that I want to pick the words of Ben Carson in taking the risk. Ben Carson says that not risking is a risk itself. And this, if it is a risk, it is a calculated risk. I came to this position because I had that motivation, that I have what I can offer to the sporting platform and the culture platform in Kisii County. And then thereafter, what follows, God knows. I'm ready for this position. If you give me, I'll serve the people of Kisii County with a lot of diligence and with a lot of dedication.
Thank you.
Number 2, you have asked about how I will improve sports and especially soccer in Kisii County. I want to say that I'm aware because I live in Kisii County, that Shabana has issues that can be solved. And those issues cannot be solved by myself. They are going to be solved by all of us. The first thing we'll do is to sit with Shabana, know their challenges, engage the partners who will be there to help us, and of course, we will do a legislation to the county assembly. If there will be a way we can bail them on their issues, then I think we'll have a good sporting activities in Kisii County. That, of course, will be in nexus to what will happen at secondary schools, because we are going to get these talents from secondary schools. So we are going to go to the grassroots, get those young ones, then let them come to Shabana, and then we will also be in the country's map and even internationally. I think that's what I'll be able to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another one, the Mumbai.
Eric,
Yes, sir.
the last time I checked, you were supporting Manchester United. Am I right?
You are not right, Honorable Member.
Which one do you support?
I support local teams. Yeah, I'm not.
Internationally?
Internationally, I am not very keen in supporting a specific team.
It's not a crime to do so. So, apart from football, which other sports do you love?
Apart from all matches,
Yeah.
I engage myself verily in music and drama. And as we speak currently, I'm the Secretary of Masaba South Sub-County, Drama and Music, which I was elected around 3-4 years ago, a position that I've been serving. And I've been training students and taking them to the sub-county, county, and national level in those areas.
So you compose music, for example? Or is drama you write, play, where are you good at? Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Now you are going to be in charge of sports, youth, culture, gender, and the arts. It's a big topic, by the way.
Yeah.
Culture is not necessarily dealing with the old culture, we need to calculate with the young ones. But particularly sports will deal with the youth. But there are other aspects of youth that we are going to deal with. Briefly, what do you have in mind in terms of empowering the youth, in terms of sports and other areas? In about a minute or so, what do you have in mind?
Thank you, leader, through the chair. I want to say that I will engage the youth in public participation, such that I get to understand their issues better before I verily come to solve them. That's what I do. I must engage them. I know their issues. Then I will now be able to see how best we can do them in an amicable way.
Now, in terms of people, I've heard you talk about the schools. You see, if you are now coming to the county, you must forget about schools. You must forget about standard 1 upwards, because that's not the target of the county. That means you must be creative in starting your own tournament. For example, do it award competition in terms of football, athletics, and the other related. Come to the sub-county level where it has to be yearly. Then from there we can identify talents who can come out of it. But if we are going to focus ourselves again into what happens in schools, then you are going to replicate what you are doing. And I think you are now moving a higher level. That's why you are moving from school. So we want to see money allocated to what competition. For example, if there are sub-locations, a cap designed along that. Then if there are sub-counties, for example, you come from Yeru and Masaka, there are 5 wards. They compete and they form one team. Then they can come down, compete with the other sub-counties. So at the end of the year, we'll have a gap where sub-counties compete either on a league basis or a knockout system. Then from there we can form a team out of it. We'll form our own. We don't have to go the Shabana way. We can form our county team where our governor will become the main sponsor, or Erick Miyienda can be the main person. You can look for partners. In terms of culture, are you planning in any way to do musical competitions where we are going to see the rich culture in Kisii? And hopefully you are going to patent Divina. You know, Divina is a Kisii dance, traditional dance. We have people who have eaten a lot of money from the Kisii songs. Like this man from Songomori, who is this man from Luyala? He has eaten a lot of money from Kisii. So you have also to come up with a way of patenting the original compositions of Kisii. Are you having any idea about that in terms of culture?
I want to respond to that by saying that yes, it is an idea that if given this opportunity, I would want to pursue. For instance, we can have a culture week where we are having all those activities taking place. And as we move forward, if possible and if approved, it is important that we have our own museum, such that we are well informed of our past, the present, and where we are heading to.
Lastly, Chairman, 2 things. This committee wants to go to the World Cup in Qatar. You tell us what plans you have, because you want to give this opportunity to take us to the World Cup. Number 2, all the stadia in the county are going to be attended. We have had a serious problem. One of them is Barani, which started 2013, up to now it's not complete. And I believe there are a lot of stadia in the county that are not complete. Are you aware of the same? And if so, what are you to do to complete the study? Because that is a key element which is going to enable you for that response.
Thank you for the chair. I want to say first, you've talked about World Cup, which I cannot respond at this time because I'm a nominee. Once I get there, I'll talk about it, if you allow me. But on Matter Stadium, I'm aware there are a number of them that are incomplete. Once and when or if you give me this position, I'll sit and formulate a way that we are going to have an assessment of those studies that are still not complete. And of course, look at the budget allocation, where there are resources. And if there are resources, I promise, we'll be able to see to it that they are complete.
I hope you also won't go to the HRT where you want to see a worker or something, and they got that and you stop that. Yes.
Chair, for the chance. I have a number of questions. First of all, I want to appreciate that we have a number of talented men and women in Kisii who've been involved even in international sports, and especially the athletic part of it. And I've seen other counties where we have those kind of people like Victoria. Their counties really benefiting because of having this kind of people. So I don't know what strategies you have in mind to empower these people even more and the county to feel their impact for having participated in sports to that kind of level. And as a honorable member of Mbati has just said that this is a very wide ministry. It is involving, including gender. And in Kisii land, there's been a lot of gender-based violence. I don't know how you're going to plan to see that people living with disabilities and those that are suffering from gender-based violences are helped that we do not keep getting just bad news from. Every time you read of violence, you read it is all from Kisii. I don't know how we intend to handle this so that then our county can have a good name and impact when it comes to issues of gender, rather than those kind of stories that are overwhelming out there, and also for mitigation for people living with disabilities. And yeah, maybe for now let me leave it at that because it is so easy that I was go to further questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I want to respond to the first question. And the question is about how we can empower our men and women with talents in athletics and even soccer going forward. If given this opportunity, I look to starting a talent academy, which is going to bring on board all these people. Then after that, after we have looked at their talents, we can look at partnership, such that now we network them to the world. We know a number of our people who are athletes and they are participating in India, they are participating in the US, and so forth. We are not going to be complacent in Kisii County. We are going to get friends who may connect our talented people to other areas, such that now talent is commercialized. They can make a living out of their talent. On gender-based violence, I can also say that this can be solved if all of us, the honorable members, the church, and myself and many other stakeholders would come together and now go out and educate our people on the essence of remaining moral in society. Such that again, we look for measures that are going to be put in place to deal with those who are involved. In fact, the law is not very clear. People will rape around and they'll be bribing the police, and at the end of the day, they're out of court. So if we are going to have a well-streamlined way of dealing with those issues, I believe that we are not going to have gender-based violence and even sex abuse per se. That's what I can say.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Mr. Erick, I am Ismail Matumba from Uyakum Ward. I'm happy that you are the only youth that we are interviewing today. Now, Mr. Erick, I think you are aware that there is a disparity in the Kisii County government in terms of job allocation to youths and tendering. As you have got now the opportunity to represent the youth in Kisii County, what is this that you are going to do to ensure that the youth also benefit from the Kisii County government? Number two, I've learned that you have been a teacher in English and literature. There is this called the River and the Source. Do you know it? Have you ever come across it?
Yes, I do.
Who is the writer of this book? That is all, Mr. Chairman.
I'll begin with the first one, where you talked about job allocations and tenders to the youth. The law is very clear, 30% for the youth in matters tendering is only that this law is not looked into. But sitting in that cabinet, if you give me this opportunity, I'll also rally for that, so that the youth are given their share. It's not a privilege, it is something that has been put in place by law. And job locations, the same will also apply. You've asked me about the River and the Source is written by Margaret Ogola.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Margaret.
Thank you.
She was a doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Margaret Ogola.
Mr. Erick, I know you are going to present a very big operation in the county, the youth. This committee is going to give you the opportunity. As you have said, I am happy that you know the percentage of representation in terms of either jobs or tendering. This committee and the assembly will be happy if we start with you as an example. Yeah, we start you as an example. You said the baseline in your department, even the fact that you have given the department more or less, it is for the youth. Yeah? Yes. And as we have said, actually, because I'm not just asking any question, but you see, I wish that the committee would award you this so that they can be your preach to assist your fellow youths. Thank you, Erick. At this time, let me take this opportunity. Thank you very much for coming, your time. But before we finish, I want to give you like 2 minutes. If you have any comment, you have any question you want to ask us, because we have been asking you, it is now your time that you interrogate us. If you have anything to say. Thank you.
Thank you, members. I want to thank you for your humility and time. It has been an interactive session, and I want to promise that if you give me this opportunity, I'm going to realize the manifesto of our governor, and the people of Kisii County will benefit from my willingness to work in the Department of Sports, Culture, and Arts. Thank you very much, and let us work together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Erick. We will get back to you, and I wish you the best of luck. Mr. Erick, make sure that you have taken your original certificates with you, and now you are free. Thank you.
Igonta tegotebanga yabeire session yengia twalire chinga kichingia mona the vetting or appointment committee twakwane na barabwo na baelezire naki mbwate amaroro ase county ito ya Kisii asa mangana a sports na mangana culture amona mangana yabasae na mangana agenda based violence aina twakwanire naende igonta kete kwera ningambia mono ase members of the fourth estate asenge njogocha koba mona intwe aserituko ria rero bono gotokuganya appointment committee ekole process yaye ligere elio tumanya gochaka gokorera abantu ba Kisii County emirimo mbia mono.
Mheshimiwa, ndake expectation yangerete because wakora mangana vitu.
Expectation kiane aserituko ria rero no gosaba maya kolengana muna appointment committee tu atware engagement na barabo batoe libaga osebanga libaga nje buna Erick mkonya abantu ba Kisii County asset department elia omo governor Paul Simbarati Kisii County anchorete.
Mheshimiwa, gukora pesa konya libaga lyo kwa waziri andake ndo bachi 45 ego chokora kwane kikurwa sibo de Jones pia bando in terms of culture, in terms of sports ngo letora mongerekeke.
Igonda tebenga kurwa si ward 45 autogocha gutwara engagement at ward level, actually at sub-location level tochake kuligi talents cheito kurwororo tutware ward tournaments mpaka toike as a county level togendereta kunya kuligi ya talents cheito tumanya gochi exposed to international world digere abana baito bali babwate talent banyore value for their talents.
Oigo mukero kuri culture nere ko leta nonya bandamo nawe bayagenda noge sabuke mu busi in terms of chimbo na kila kitu. Ego chokorora squeeze torara abantu basare kirege state gete especially abasaya abana boigo ngiko chokora kwane kinga culture yabo busingo genda liwere na gotio.
Tubwate birengera libyo gochaka museum ase Kisii gaiga toreta abantu baito bali begekoro balinde rito tware a culture week onye nyasaye kawancha a culture week eyo neye kotorokia ngaki abantu baito bamenyeta ase gekoro ngaki bari kobeka chianga ase gekoro ngaki bari kokwania abantu ase gekoro ligere elio tonyare koba tumanyete ngaki abantu bamenyete ngaki tobwente komenya bono na bagocha ngaki bakomenya gochimutu.
Thank you so much and
mbia mono.